Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Helix Amps Revisited. Today we're taking a look at what sometimes is one of my favorite amp models in the Helix for certain styles of music. It is the Solo Lead Crunch. Now this is one of a set of 3 amp models that we have in the Helix that are based off of the Soldano SLO 100 amplifier, which is a real classic amp for a lot of rock guitar tones. I'm lucky enough to have a real SLO 30 here in the studio. I've got to say it doesn't disappoint. It's a killer sounding amp. A lot of great tones trapped in that box, and it's quite a versatile amp as well. So we're going to look today at the Solo Lead Crunch, which is the crunch channel of the SLO 100. Now I'm going to have a free preset available at the link below at my website, which is going to be a single snapshot preset that we're going to look at today. But this is based off of one of the 5 snapshots from my full-blown Soldano preset from the Line 6 Marketplace. I'll also have a link to that below. It's going to feature all 3 channels of the amp and 5 different snapshots with some reverb and some delay. Very versatile preset, one that I enjoy playing through very much. So if you like what you hear in the free preset and you want to grab a copy of the full-blown preset, the links for both will be below. And I'll show you a demo video later today showing off some of the different snapshots from that full-blown preset that's available on the Line 6 Marketplace. So without further ado, let's dive right over to HX Edit, take a look and see exactly what I did with this. And if you like it, you can grab the free preset below. All right, so here we are over in HX Edit. I have a very simple 6-block preset here. This will work on HX Stomp. It will also work on Helix, obviously. The full-blown Line 6 Marketplace preset will only work with Helix. It is unfortunately not compatible with HX Stomp simply because we're using all 3 amp channels and there's just too much going on there to be able to fit in the HX Stomp. So starting off at the end of my chain like normal, I'm starting with an LA Studio comp, just set very subtle to give us a little bit of glue at the end. Peak reduction of 6, gain at 5. And we're going to go over to our parametric EQ. Now, if you notice here, I have the low and high cut turned off. I just didn't use it on this. I like the sound of this without those on. But I do have a little bit of high frequency parametric EQ set to 3.5 kilohertz with a Q of 0.7 and the gain on that boosted by 2 dB. And on the mid frequency at 460 hertz with a Q of 1.4, I've pulled that back by 2 dB. So that's just a little bit of tweaking that I thought made this particular preset work a little nicer. So it's going to sit in a mix better, whether live or in the studio. I have my dynamic ambience on some of my favorite settings here. 12 meters, the late 100 shape, and a mix of 37% just to add a little depth. And overall, less dry as a bone feel to the particular tone. I have my low and high shelf, as I often do, low frequency and high frequency both set at 650 hertz. Low gain pulled back by 3 dB, high gain boosted by 1 dB, and that just adds a little polish to the sound. Moving on to the cab, I'm using what some might consider maybe a little bit of an odd cab for this, the 212 Mandarin 30. The mic is one of my favorite ribbon mics we have inside of the Helix, the 121 ribbon, which is a model of the Royer R121 ribbon mic I used to actually own. I have that at a position of 7.7, kind of pulled back at a distance of 7 inches, angled at 45 degrees. So kind of a little bit of different settings that some folks might maybe not think of doing, but I think it worked out really nicely. Going to the amp, I have the drive at 5, bass at 9.1, mid at 5.3, treble at 6, presence at 3.6, channel volume at 10. The deeper functions are pretty much straight across the board at 5, except for the bias, which is at 6.5. Now let's just go to the end of the chain here. We'll shut everything off except the amp and cab. And this is what it sounds like while I'm playing my Gibson SG. A little bit tubby in the bottom end, which could be a big part of using the ribbon mic on it and having that bass cranked up where it is. You're gonna see how I'm gonna use a few of these other blocks to get that all cleaned up and give us a real nice tone. So we'll bring in the compressor at the end. Giving us a couple dB of gain reduction. I just kind of like the way it squished this together and gave it some vintage vibe to it. Very cool. Now let's hear what this parametric EQ does. Subtle, but it just kind of gives it a little more clarity. So we'll add in our dynamic ambience, doing what it's supposed to do. We'll bring in our low and high shelf. Going to be an important block to getting this sounding the way I wanted it to. Hear how it cleans up a little bit of that bottom end that might have been a little problematic in a mix. Now, if you found that there's still a little too much of that, you could always come over here to the low cut, bring that up maybe around 100 hertz. You know, if that was getting in the way in a mix of maybe a kick drum or a bass guitar, you could always do that. But I was kind of digging it just like this. And that was the final tone. All right, so that's the free tone that's available at the link below. Now that is a single snapshot version of my full-blown slow Dan preset that's available on the Line 6 Marketplace. I'd like to let you hear how the various snapshots of that preset sound now, mixed in with a full-blown rhythm section and composition. So this is how that sounds. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. So there's two links below, one to the free preset we created today here in HX Edit. You can grab that from my website. If you like what you heard today, if you enjoy the free preset, maybe think about grabbing a full-blown slow Dan preset from the Line 6 Marketplace. It helps to support my channel, and I really do hope you enjoyed today's video, the free preset and the full-blown Marketplace preset. Thank you guys again so much for sharing your time with me. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it, and also please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Ciao for now.